November 1st, 2009. VGN Radio presents Midwest Wasteland with your hosts, Kevin Baird,
Brian Baird,
Cease,
and Larry Mack.
Tonight's topic, making it. Okay, so before we start the show,
making out.
I have a couple of quick show notes as usual. If you didn't get a chance to listen to Video Game News Radio last week, we're having the art contest for the banners and the avatars, etc. It is on the website, and we'd appreciate you coming to vote if you have an account on videogamenews.com. And if you don't bother making one because you can't vote. That was to help stop cheating.
Bastards.
Right.
Yep.
So you have to, but if you have an account that's over, a month old or whatever, then you can come vote and let us know which of the art you'd like to see us use and have our pictures on every freaking web page in the world. No. But definitely go check them out. They are in the forums, so go into the forums, and you will see.
That guy thinks he's evil.
You will see a 3 contest posts in the general forum, and with instructions on what to do and how to vote. So definitely check it out.
How are those for some fucking nitpicky, pain in the ass rules? So if your account is like over a month old or whatever, like they're about that old or something, then come on in and vote. But if it's new, don't bother.
Well, it has to be older
Go fuck
than
yourself.
It has to be older than October 1st, because otherwise the people will have created an account in order to win.
You're like, no accounts. But if it's, I don't know, like a month or so, maybe.
We've had about a dozen votes, and that's not very good. I'd like to get a little bit more. So, if you're listening...
We'll have a dozen listeners, man.
You want to check it out. No,
how many people have accounts?
VGN's got 2,000 listeners, and I know Midwest Wasteland has about 500 because all of them heard the rally cry to change the RSS, and that was not an automated process at all. And were about 500 unique downloads of the last Midwest Wasteland. So there is definitely 500 people listening.
This is how we take a census, right?
But do all those people have accounts?
No, probably not. I would say 99% of them don't.
Yeah, so that's like 50 people.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
And 12 of them have voted. That's a 24% turnover rate.
But that's Midwest. VGN has 2,000
That's how many
listeners.
people. That's the percentage of people that vote in this country. That's pretty good.
VGN has 2,000 listeners or so. It's growing a little bit. Good.
I hear.
Anyway, also I've added a new Listen Now link on the Listen Live link on the website, videogamenews.com, which allows you to listen to the shows live when they're recording just by going there.
Why would you want to?
The little applet. You can give it a shot. It works in Flash. I do know that if you run it too long or you're out of memory, your browser will crash. That is actually a deficiency in Flash. Flash doesn't know how to handle an MPEG stream, so it keeps thinking it's downloading it, and therefore it keeps holding on to it because it's eventually going to save it. And this show isn't actually. It's only
He puts it together as one gigantic 4 meg download.
Right. Well, no, it plays it, but it keeps holding on to it.
Yeah,
it's the way Flash was. It was the way Flash was written. So
if you had dial-up, could you imagine?
If you don't have a lot of memory, I mean, this show doesn't take up a lot of. If you listen to our stream, it's only a 24K stream. It's like 2,400 baud. So it would take you a long time to
which sounds something like
run out of memory, but you never know. So anyway, if it crashes for you, then you should probably listen through one of the more traditional means, like Media Player, iTunes, Winamp, something like that. And there is a Winamp button there that you can click, and you can open up your Winamp and play it that way, which is recommended, but not required. So that's at videogamenews.com, and it's on the left-hand side. As you know, or you don't know, we have a new link to Midwest Wasteland. It is M, as in Mark, www.libsyn.com,
money,
which gets you to the main page, and there is a player there now, so if you just want to play the Midwest Wasteland episodes in your browser at any time,
what's up,
on demand, you're going to do that. Because this show...
woman, bitch.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, hold on. Because this show is every other week, I'm going to start putting the old episodes on the bye weeks up on there. So because some people were asking where the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend show was, which used to be on the old setup, and it's only in the archive right now, I'm going to eventually start adding those to all the old episodes to this page, this Midwest Wasteland page. So those will all be there, so we'll be able to listen to them slowly. So you'll get some repeats, basically. If you're subscribed to the RSS, just deal with it. There's only 8 episodes of this show, so, just have to go with it. There's also a Cleveland Sports Radio page now, which is at csr.libsyn.com. And with all of these, if you do like csr.libsyn.com/RSS, that's the manual RSS. So Midwest Wasteland's mww.libsyn.com/RSS. And there's also Kevin's Oblast, which is Oblast. That's OBLAST.libsyn.com, which is my show.
My show.
Yeah, it's all mine. Now, actually, Jedi and I were doing a show last week. It went about an hour and a half. It was really good. We were talking about gaming. So if you're a gamer and you want to check it out, it was a good show. And all of those pages, Cleveland Sports Radio, Midwest Wastelands, and Oblast, they all have players in the browser. So if you don't want to subscribe, you can do it that way. As far as the iTunes situation is concerned, I know people keep writing me and telling me that, hey, I can't find Midwest Wasteland in iTunes search. What the F? It is there. If you go to videogamenews.com and go to the first post on that page, there's a link there that says how to find it in iTunes. And if you click on that, it'll open your iTunes up and show you the Midwest Wasteland page on iTunes. But for whatever reason, Apple hasn't added it to the search yet. Don't know why. I have no idea. I have
bullshit.
I know. I have submitted the new Cleveland Sports Radio and the Oblast show.
Like who?
And they have not, I did it over the weekend, so they have not yet been approved yet. We'll see when they are. But they should show up eventually. And when I have links that provide that same functionality, that the one that does on the page that takes you there, I'll add those to the home page as well. Some people don't know this, though, and I explained this to Jedi. If you have iTunes, you can add your own RSS links without having to search for them in iTunes. You just go to the top of your iTunes where it says Advanced, and then it says under there, subscribe to a podcast. And if you click on that, you can then put the RSS link in there. So for like this show, you would put mww.libsyn.com/RSS, and that subscribes you in iTunes to the podcast. So, you can also do it that way if you don't want to sit around and wait for it like Jedi was. All right. I think that's everything. Okay, cool. Sorry. I know, it's a lot of show notes, but as shit gets more and more complicated, I'm trying to make it easier. I know I've made it more complicated, but it's, I'm trying to make it so people can find the show. I know the people that have been with us a long time are like, God damn it, now I got to go here, and I got to go there, I got to download this. But I'm trying to make it so that the new guy, when he comes along, he can find it, without it just looking like some kind of hieroglyphic ruins or something, and be able to click on something and listen to it. You know what I mean? And not have to have a PhD in computer science to find these fucking shows. So I
don't even bother anymore. It's not worth the effort.
Yes. Larry's come full circle. He just doesn't even want to listen to it.
Started off as an acolyte, and now he's completely fucking disinterested.
Yeah. Should I? Larry's
you guys are rubbish. I always sort of know, never told me, but I didn't listen.
No, Larry's like, I'm depressed. Should I listen to myself being depressed on the radio? No. So,
especially it's like Cleveland Sports Radio. It's like I was sad enough when I said it. I don't need to listen back to it.
Although the Blue Jackets had a fantastic victory today. But anyway, okay. Tonight's topic is about making it. Just so I get it out now.
Making it.
Next week's show is going to be about UFOs. So
awesome.
We're going to bring our UFO stories, be them unidentified flying objects or aliens or whatever. Things and if you haven't seen anything, it'll be also for things other people have told you, So.
Which we think are bullshit.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Or things you've watched on television, anything like that. It's all going to be about the discussion of alien life.
I saw a movie about aliens once.
And
didn't end well.
I figure that's a pretty broad topic. In case anybody's interested, we will not be having episodes about, say, Bigfoot as a whole episode. No.
Come on, we're going to turn this into fucking Art Bell.
No. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, the poor man's Art Bell.
We have Jedi calling in from west of the Rockies.
So, okay.
Jedi, what do you think about Bigfoot?
Well, a lot of people are unfamiliar with the metaphysical aspect of Bigfoot, and anytime I turn on Art Bell, it's when that guy calls, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, here we go.
No. Listen, the worst crap ever is the contrails. Do you ever hear them talk about that shit? That is the dumbest crap ever. The steam,
so boring, dude.
The steam vapor from the airplanes. Oh,
He
my
sent
God.
up a Cessna to capture some of these crystals, and came back with absolutely nothing. I don't know.
They come back with a butterfly net? I mean, is that how they try catching that shit?
What is
They
that
took
all
they
about?
fucking escaped from the lunatic asylum? Dude, I like when they act like we've caught this sound of an alien that we had in a refrigerator. That was the best. They had an alien that we shot him, and this is what he sounded like. And it's like us on the microphone fucking around, and all you hear is, he's like, my God, I cannot believe I'm hearing this. And I'm like, of course you can, because you know it's just
sounds so creepy.
This man is a scientist. I'm like, from what? You know, that fucking online college? Fuck you. You didn't find nothing. He's pulling your fucking balls, you know? But you have to listen.
So I do have one, a beginning question to go around with. And
right.
I'll start with Brian. Brian, when was the point in your life? Well, let me first say, just in case
I failed.
Just in case nobody understands.
A little glowing sign came.
What was that epic fail moment when you realized that there was just no point anymore?
Yeah, it was over. You know, when the blade was against your wrist. Was that it? When you knew that it was done.
When you lay in the tub.
No,
with the warm water.
Tonight's topic.
Fucking sad fucking Cure songs and shit. You're like, I'm done.
Tonight's topic is about
blade out of the big razor.
It's about making it, which is how we all survived without any money in our lives.
It's when I was taking that razor blade out of the Bic razor and only succeeded in cutting my finger and snapping the razor blade in half, so I couldn't even get that right.
Fell down the drain.
And I just fell down on the bathroom floor and started crying.
Yeah, I knew all my dreams
all
were
alone
shattered.
in the dark.
I knew all my dreams were shattered when the Berlin Wall came down, because I knew there'd be no thermonuclear war and that I wasn't going to be a road warrior, which I kind of always wanted to be. So, I mean, this world
I
of
was
peace.
convinced that in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, I'd be the shit.
Yeah,
Once
I
that
mean,
wasn't going to pass, it's just no
the
point.
Northeastern Territories, and now I'm, you know.
Now that we're all normal human.
Or when you'd be in the bathtub and your dad would come in and take a shit while you're in there, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know you no longer matter. You cease to fucking be of import.
So, this show is about how people survive when they basically have no money. So, Brian, when was the point in your life that you remember having the most expendable cash in your life? That was yours.
Money just didn't make any difference.
Well, money that you got,
whatever.
Somebody actually gave you money from a check or whatever, and you could spend it on things other than bills.
Probably when I first got out of the Navy, dude, I was living with you and Dad, because I really had no responsibilities. That was awesome. I was working at Hills. My basic was making just barely above minimum, and they paid us weekly. And since I was part time, it meant cool. I have enough money to go party this weekend because I'm living with my dad, and he doesn't seem to mind so much paying for me because I just got the military, and he knows that I'm mostly bumming off my friends anyway. So who gives a shit, right? I'm just fucking partying. It was a great time, dude. It was 2 years I stretched that shit out, so it was very awesome.
Did you what were some of the things you would spend your money on?
Going to concerts. That was number one, dude. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to a lot of concerts, because I didn't get to do that when I wanted to do that before. So I'm almost sure as fuck doing it now. And
cassette tapes.
Yeah, lots of fucking music, dude. Lots of bullshit that I really didn't need, and I don't have now. that shit's gone. Gas for my car was the only kind of bill that I sort of had was I had to pay for the gas in the car and the old Nova, which barely fucking worked, but I didn't care. It was the summer of debauchery. It was fucking great.
Yep. Larry.
Either when I was in the Army and had no appreciable bills because my room and board were paid for, and I wasn't allowed to spend money on much of anything anyhow, or I guess that would be the big one, really. When I was in the Army,
did you buy anything?
That I was actually making good money, even though I was making shitty money.
Yeah,
but I had nothing. Yeah, I had nothing I could spend it on.
Okay, well, that's not, did you ever have a point in your life where you had money that you could spend?
Okay, fans, here's the beginning of Larry being sad on this show. One time I had disposable income in my life would probably have been after my mom died and I blew through my inheritance on dumb crap. There you go.
What did you buy?
Stuff.
Well, no, I did get. I do still have, even though the pockets are now shredded because it's old. I do have my really cool black leather Indians jacket.
Wow.
Which is one of my prized possessions. A whole lot of it was on dumb shit, though. I like bought my car. Yeah, I bought my car at the time with that money. I was constantly, hey, let's go to shows. That's when I got married. So I was like, cool, we get the week-long honeymoon in Vegas. I was constantly, to get out of the house after I got married, going to the strip clubs for a few all night long.
And that's the end of the inheritance right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And I blew through that in short order.
Oh, okay. Cease?
Well, after my first real job, I wasn't making shit at that one. When I went to work for Van Dorn, I doubled my salary, and I was single, living by myself. I bought my first brand new vehicle. It had a Chevy S10. I was going skiing in the winter and hanging out with the guys.
Yeah. Christ!
Oh, dude, it was fucking great.
You're like some Euro
great.
Trash fucking guy, man. That's great. I was skiing up the Alps with my.
Oh no, but yeah, we went to New York, went skiing and shit, hung out with friends, and it was a good time.
Wine tasting on Sundays.
Yeah, cheese tasting.
Exactly, and then I got married.
Later hosen. That's awesome.
All right. Well, mine would probably be when I.
Since you turned 12?
No, when I was living it. Okay, there was
had a job, dude. What are you talking about? You never had a heart attack.
Right. When I ninth grade, I had to work and give my dad's all the checks that I got, and but eventually,
Dad was he was like the mafia.
he was the only one that had to pay rent.
Money, right?
Whatever.
He had to pay protection money to your old man.
Yeah.
But eventually his situation improved and he didn't bother me too much about my paycheck, and I wasn't making very much. I was making $3.33 an hour bagging groceries, and I was but I would get a $70 check every week, and what was awesome about that was it was all mine. There was no bills. There was no car. There was no gasoline. If you were to be like, well, if my dad was like, I'm going to take $50 out of your check, I'd add $20, I'd be all right, because I didn't need it for anything. But when I did have a whole check, I would just walk over to Walden Books and buy Dungeons and Dragons hardcover books and shit. And because there's what else am I going to spend it on? It wasn't like I was dating anybody or anything. So there was no black hole for the cash. It was just
your friend's gas bill would have been nice.
It was all done stuff. Now we weren't really hanging out that much back then, though. You were in Strongsville playing football.
I can't remember.
And that was ninth grade. That was before Brian even got back, right. And he got back a little bit later. But anyway, But then, like you said. So, Brian, when was it that you think you were the most broke?
Probably when I was married, dude. When I worked at fucking Stouffer's, I remember this distinctly. We used to have remember we had the Cerno fires shit, to keep the food warm on the plates, the hot plates and stuff. And I would steal the fucking Cernos so I could burn them in my house to keep warm in my fucking shitty apartment. They regulated the heat, and they wouldn't turn the heat on. It was the heat was fucking 40 degrees, and Lauren and we were freezing our asses off, man. So I'd be at work and if they call you eating the food, they'd fire you, and it was as soon as the cooks would all go take off and go do something. As soon as we saw the manager had left the room, me and the other guy that were busting tables, this short black guy, we'd also put we were putting heavy metal horns, but we put them on top of our heads, and we called them, those were our cockroach antenna. So we suddenly turned into he goes, little did you know that his two employees were actually cockroaches. We'd fucking go over there, pretend we were cockroaches, and raid the fucking food table because that's when we ate that day. And then when I would only eat maybe if I got lucky enough, I started working at Little Caesars and I could make whatever the fuck I wanted and take it home because otherwise I had too much shit. So that's when I knew I had reached a new point in fucking just not having fucking any goddamn money.
You stole a Sega Genesis and then you sold it to me. I remember that.
That wasn't exactly one of my high points either, dude. There was some shame involved in my life.
I bought it.
Dude, he knew I was broke. Though. He's I know you're broke, but it's still dumb. You're selling
Would this
me.
have been the days of the empty deposit envelopes in the ATM?
That did not go over very well, no. No, my fucking bank immediately wrote me back to haha, very funny.
Nice try, asshole.
Nice try, yeah. No,
it worked for that moment.
Or that, you take it
because the fucking fee was fucking unbelievable.
More than you got.
Oh yeah. It was like my next 2 checks went right to fucking paying off the bank before they fucking sent like, you know, whatever bank I had's fucking like hitmen.
I would do that because I would like go to the bank and I would like deposit like a check in order to go out that night or something into the bank machine, and then the bank machine wouldn't give me any money. I just put in like $100-some bucks or something, you know, and it'd be like no, and I'd be like, well, what the fuck, you know? So
Dude, you know what's the worst? One time happened to me is I put my bank card in the machine and it kept my card.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
That's when you know you're like you fucked up.
You put it in and it sticks out and it goes right back into zoop. You're like, hey, what the
it's
fuck?
like you not only you owe us so much fucking money that we close your account, we're taking your card, and we kept your next 2 paychecks. It's like
yeah,
okay.
like a bear
digital skull comes on there.
Yeah, right. a bear trap gets your leg. Clink.
Yeah. Sprays mace in your face.
Do not move. All right, I got Anderson here so we can catch him up. So let me get him on the show real quick. Oops. Larry, what the hell? Were you taking a shit while you're on the show with us or something?
Christ, dude. Yeah. I've been drinking last night and I'm not belching too much.
I'm all sorry I had to stretch.
Fucking walking bowel movement today.
Anderson.
What up?
Hey. All right, we'll get you catched up. There's only one question that you missed, and then we'll roll right in.
We'll get you all catched up.
Fancy haircut or jargon.
At what point in your life do you think that you had the most cash that you could freely spend? Not like money that you got that you just like put into bills, you know what I mean? But money that like was in your wallet that you could be like, I'm going to go blow this, you know? What point in your life was that?
Everybody laughed at that. We're all like, yeah, right.
I'm still waiting for it.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just that I haven't had the most honest past. So
We've already discussed that, dude. We're past the statute of limitations, we think.
So,
Look who you're talking to.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day,
We've all fucking stolen shit, dude.
No, I'm not talking about stealing. Anyways,
dealing?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
Dealing
fine,
or
fair enough.
dealing, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
man.
Back in
You
the
were handing
day,
out aspirin.
towards the end of the cheese era, which would have been, I don't know, 92, 91, 92, 93, somewhere in there, right when the band was hitting and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Like I had a dude that I worked with who he was like a pool shark. He'd always go to the pool. He'd always go to Chanley's, and he'd just shark people out of money all the time. You know, that's how he made extra cash. And this dude used to be like, he would come up to you and be like, I'll bet you your whole check that I got more money in my wallet without my check than you have on you right now. And most people would be like, no, Dave, we're not, we know you're at the pool hall all last night. You probably got whatever, $600, $700 or whatever on you or whatever. He's like, well, he came up to me the one day after a quote unquote good night, and that's what he said to me. He said the same thing. He was like, dude, I bet you your paycheck that I got more money on me than you got on you without paychecks. And I was like, dude, I'm not, you know what? I looked at him. I said, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to do you a favor right now. And I'm not going to take your bet. And he's like, why are you chicken? Because you ain't got no money? And I was like, well, actually, no. I just don't want to take your money and then have to hear you whine about it because you think you're the man. And he's like, whatever, dude. And he's like, check this out. And he throws out 6 $100 bills. He's like, how about that? You got that beat? I pulled out this fucking wad of cash. Swear, honest to God. Pulled out this wad of cash. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should I go on? Or, do you have more hidden on you somewhere? And he was just like, fuck you, dude. The fuck, man? What are you doing? I was like, don't worry about what I'm doing. Just keep your mouth shut and quit being a dick. But that was probably like the time.
But was that your money? Or was you just like, were you just laundering it?
It was mine in a way.
Was that the money out of your razor case in your room? No. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I don't even use a razor.
You said
the old cigar box. That's what
you used to have that.
Well, in that case,
you had that razor case. You're like, I have this cash in my razor case or something. You were like, I was like, what? And I was in his room. I don't know why.
It was a Dutch Master cigar box.
See.
No, this was like in your old room though, or something. That wasn't a cigar
back
box.
on Lansing.
Really? No, I remember a razor case. All right, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was like an electric razor case or something though.
Dude, I used to keep money everywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So at what point was that though? I mean, what's the when you know?
It's like 92, 93.
Okay.
So I was like 20, about 19, 20.
Okay.
Not the year's 1920. I mean, I was about 19 to 20 years old. I'm in that area. That's when I had. That was the bad. Those are the blurry years. I don't remember too much.
Hold on, we lost Larry for some reason. I'm bringing him back.
I lost him a while ago.
I don't pay attention.
I know.
He's
Okay.
sitting on the bathroom floor.
So at what point do you think, this is still Anderson, you were the most broke? And if you know, what made you realize?
Right now. Honest to God, this moment right now. And the moment I realized that was Thursday night when I was counting up my money, and I was saying to myself, okay, I need $500 for my rent, which is due on the 1st. And then, what the?
Larry's got the God mic on again. We can hear him touching the keys on his keyboard.
He's not touching himself.
I think I hear his power supply humming.
Yeah.
No, he's just close to the airport. Jeez.
God damn.
It's not our fault your microphone's fucking so good. The hell? All right, sorry. Go ahead, Anderson.
Yeah, so right now, when I realized it was Thursday night when I was counting my money, and I said to myself, okay, I need $500. I've got $440. Let's go see what's in the mail. And then I went and looked in the mail, and I was like, there was a bill, or there was a thing from the Union Hall up in Cleveland. They're like, you have until the end of the month to pay your dues, or you're going to be suspended. And I was like, shit. So I had to make an emergency drive up to Cleveland Friday morning just to go to the hall to pay 2 months worth of dues. The lady, it was the 30th of October. The lady stamps the thing, and she turns and looks at me. She goes, you're good till the end of October. I just laughed at her and walked away. I was like, that's pretty funny. I'm good till tomorrow. Thanks. Because I was so far behind. So, yeah, that's when I was like, you know what? I am completely and utterly screwed. So.
Well,
When was the last time you worked a union job, though? Do you care if you get suspended?
2 months ago.
Yeah.
I was up in Cleveland 2 months ago. That's the
Oh,
start
so
of the
there
whole
you
thing.
okay.
You never know, because and plus it's winter, so there's nothing going on in winter, but not much going on in winter. But when spring hits, you never know.
That's true.
My brother gets a job for a couple of weeks. That's good enough for me. That's
Well, now you have
nice.
me. Now you have me worried about you, Anderson. You going to be all right, man? You going to?
Didn't you read my Facebook thing?
You just
I'm
said,
smiling.
yeah. You said things are going to get better around here, but you're not making it sound like it's getting all that better.
Oh no! See, that's the thing is I'm telling you all about.
It's usually when you start smiling that means you've given up and it's about to be over.
Well, that smile was like months ago. That was when I was still married and stuff. Which, by the way, did you guys know that I signed the papers?
Congratulations, sir.
Did I?
Yeah,
I don't-
all
I don't know
right,
if I-
man.
Yeah, papers have
Welcome
been
to
signed
the
last
next-
week.
How are you signing papers? I have a court date in friggin' April.
Because he's not fighting anything, dude, like you.
I'm not fighting for anything. We split it even. We sat down and we said, okay, this is the only fair way to do this, and this, and we made it fair because we can do that.
For now, till you don't live up to your end.
Until I
Once the papers are signed, it won't matter.
you know, once I'm out of here.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yay.
So,
Party.
are you going to tell us what you're
Yay, now
smiling
we have
about?
order.
I'm still waiting to find out what you're smiling about. Can you tell me?
I don't want to say anything right now.
No.
So jinx
But-
it.
Because I know the pain will be over soon.
Well, no, I mean, I just don't want to. I just don't. It's not like I don't want to jinx it. It's just I don't want to get.
You might get a job, is what you're saying. I understand.
I got a job. I might have a job waiting for me up in Cleveland.
Hooray!
So I may be.
And you got a bowling team waiting for you in Cleveland,
Yeah.
too, and a soccer team.
That's it.
Right. I may be packing up here.
Well, there you go.
Well,
Things are looking
sort
up,
of.
dude.
Because I don't know if you noticed this, but in my story, I had mentioned that I only had $440 for rent today's rent day, and I had to drive up to Cleveland and spend 2 months worth of dues. So I had to spend some of that $440. So I really don't have.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna spend.
They're going to be
money.
sleeping in Kevin's garage next week.
Nah, I already got a place.
With the big hole.
Dude, it would be better just to go live with that. No, maybe not.
I'm not going to Adam.
Yeah, I was
I'm
just
not
going to
going
say.
to Adam.
Maybe not.
Don't even,
Go live in the house on
house.
stilts.
don't even start.
All right. Larry, when did you realize that you were the most broke? And if you had an epiphany at that moment, do tell.
Let's see. I hit my low starting in 1996, and I've been there since. Now, it would have been about 4 years ago. After See, sadly, I've actually reached that point a couple times in my life. There were the old days of driving past my apartment to see if there was anybody like in the foyer of the apartment, because I found out that they have to serve you eviction papers in person. So if there's somebody in the foyer of my apartment, then I would leave and come back. But that wasn't the low point. The low point would have been about 4 years ago. I had the house, and Vicky had moved out, and we said, okay, that was our last attempt at a reconciliation. Screw this. So, of course, after buying the house, I went from a 2-income household to a 1-income household paying child support, which makes the mortgage payment suck really hard. And I had gone to juggling which utilities could be shut off each month.
Oh, that meant like juggling in the circus.
Until I get them turned back on the next month.
Right.
And I reached a point where I had my cell phone, and I figured as long as I kept that paid up, I could use the alarm on that, and there were nights I would sleep in my car because then I could kind of keep it warm because there was no electricity or gas in my house.
Right.
And I would sleep in my car and use the alarm on my cell phone.
I've done that.
Or, like, beg a friend, hey, call me tomorrow at 7, and can I come use your shower? I would, crash over friends' houses by, I probably shouldn't drive home. Can I just crash here? Can you get me up at, like, 8 o'clock for work tomorrow? And right as we were into that point, that's when I had my issue with my appendix getting removed. Oh. So that sucked, and then I missed time at work, which put me a little further behind, and then because of the time I missed from that eventually wound up pushing me over my number of days I could take off, and I lost that job.
Damn, my life seems fucking great now.
And that was the point where I finally gave up because I swore to myself I was never going to do this because I'm, no matter how bad things are, I'm going to be a man. I'm going to accept responsibility for my mistakes and my obligations. And at that point, I said, okay, it's over. So I went to a bankruptcy lawyer, and he was like explaining everything to me. He's like, well, you can file it this way, which allows you to keep the house. I was like, I don't want the house. He's like,
all apathetic. Like, fuck it.
He's like, okay, well, first, we need to look at your bills, and I had already done that, and I had done the math, and if you took my bills based on what I was making, and this was before I lost the job, as long as I didn't eat, put any gas in my car, or ever leave the house, I would only be losing about $300 or $400 a month.
Well, that's not so bad.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I don't want the house. They can take the house. And he's like, well, okay, you can do it. How about your car? They've already repossessed my car. I walked out of the house and it was gone, which of course made me miss work. So,
and then you turned around and the house disappeared.
So, that would have been my low point. and even the bankruptcy lawyer was like, okay, well, here's what you can do. In Cuyahoga County,
jump off a bridge. No.
There's pills you can
realistically, it's going to take them 6 months to evict you.
Yep.
So just stay in the house until that time. I was like,
come out.
I was like, well, that doesn't. I can't afford the utilities on the house. He's like, okay, let's just get this paperwork done. Bankruptcy lawyer thought I was pathetic.
Even the lawyer was just like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Okay.
He's probably thinking, is this guy going to pay me?
Can I? You know what?
It's like, I won't be taking payments on your case, right?
Yeah,
you
an award of the courts or something that I don't know about. This is like some verbatim thing. Fucking do this shit for free. What the fuck?
Yeah. When you were talking about when you were saying like you go month to month picking which bills you can pay or pay off or whatever. Yeah. I was sitting here the other day getting ready to go to work. I pushed the button on the computer screen. Power went out. Whole place. I was like, son of a bitch! They finally got me. The sons of bitches finally. I walked outside. Other people jumped outside. They're like, "Oh no, my power's out too." I was like, "Oh,
thank God.
I got a chance." I'm like, "Oh, I got a chance." I'm like, "That's awesome. I get my shows taped tonight. This is great." And then it's like I'm driving home, and I'm like, "What if they were just like, we're going to shut it off anyways? Leave it off, That
go back. Your fridge is full of rotten food.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, okay, electricity hasn't sent me that final notice yet, but gas has, so I'll make a payment on that. That'll shut them up for 2 months till I get the final notice from electricity. Then I can make them a partial payment.
Right.
Dude, you know it's over when you're like looking at all the bills you've got and they're back up so bad. You're like, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, I have to literally move
Yeah,
and change
you
my
got
name for them to fucking
$800.
turn it back
Oh,
on
that's
again. You know?
Oh, yeah, I actually did look at that idea as well. I was like, you know what? How about if I just pick up, well, not that there's much to pick up, but pick up the clothes on my back and move someplace else and just start over because I've apparently
No way you're
made
ever
enough.
gonna pay that off.
Yeah, I've made enough of a mess here in Cleveland that I'm certainly not going to get it turned around. Maybe if I go to friggin' New Mexico and call myself Paco, so some Mexican family there will let me like stay in their adobe mud hut.
No,
while I
because even
work
they
at
would
McDonald's.
even they would think you're pathetic.
They're
Yeah,
like,
they make you out there fucking feed the burro early in the morning. You're like, dude, what's the point?
who is the outsider? We call him White Lazy Beast.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Sorry.
Wait, lazy because he eats. He does nothing.
Gringo
Fat
Mac.
boy.
He sits in that peyote hut all day long.
Does he tell fortune? No.
Yeah, I go in there.
We hear crying late at night.
Please help! I have no money. They look at me. Yeah, you're eating okay, aren't you, fucker? Get out of here, Gringo.
Okay.
SA?
Cease.
Well, there's a couple of them. The worst there was like
5 hours ago.
Here we go. Yeah. About 2 minutes ago, I just looked at my wallet. Fuck.
Wait, you know what? I just checked my bank balance on mine. Online.
Yeah.
Wait, there's
Every
somebody at my
day.
door.
yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Lord knows there were
I'm on my
months where I would
cell phone
never
now.
answer the phone.
Hear the fucking car tires shrieking underneath. It was like, might have to make this
Dude.
conversation short.
Just hear a scream and shit.
If your bank account is at 0, you're better off than I am. Just to throw that out there.
I'm at 30
It's-
bucks right now.
It's
So
not. It's bad now, but it's livable. But you know,
Go ahead,
the worst was when I was living with Kevin at the time. I was working 2 fucking jobs, going to school at the same time, and I had absolutely no fucking money at all. I was like eating a fucking 1 burrito a day, one of those frozen fuckers to live.
Frozen
It was
food.
like. It was the damn best burrito I ever ate. Hey, they ain't no normal burrito. That's one of them fucking, high style burrito from the fucking streets.
Yeah, Cease was pretty broke back then.
Oh,
Not like I
God.
was living high on the hog either. We were both fucking barely
that's when it was
making
Halloween. You thought about getting dressed and going out just so you'd have something to eat.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, you're
First
like,
time we had snacks.
oh, fuck, I'm 24, but goddamn, I bet you that fucking Captain Marvel costume still fucking fits. You know?
If I put on a full mask and just kind of hunch over, they won't think I'm so tall.
Talking a high-pitched voice. Hey.
Dude, I'd be stealing pretzels from like the work. They had this. They
You're
had
coming
this
home
little-
and be like, Kevin, look what I got.
The guy only like charged
I have
$5.
dinner tonight.
Kevin comes over in his penitent robe. What do you have, Cease?
Get the frying pan out.
Well, the worst
I got
thing
some
is,
salt. Let's get around the table.
the
That's a
worst,
condiment
The
package.
frozen foot. We can eat that.
the worst thing is though, is like you've made a budget for yourself, and you're like, well, you figured out
Right,
how
you
you can
can't live
survive, and then your car like suddenly goes,
Yeah, that's always when the car.
and you're like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
go to the car repair place, and you're hoping it's like $100 maybe or something.
Oh,
and they're
no.
always
They
like,
look at you and they're like, this
15
guy's going to be my slave forever.
You're like, it'll be $700 to fix that thing in there, and you're just like, what?
Your license plate fell off, so that's going to cost you about $1,000.
You just have, you're like, you're totally screwed then, beyond repair. You're just like, you just can't.
Can't even fathom having that much money at one time and not having fucked it on something else, you know? Like $700, dude. I didn't even make $700 this month. Start asking about payments, and they're just like looking at you, shaking your head, like, no.
You know when you're like really,
No, normally, yes, but not you.
you know when you're like totally done, like when a bill collector calls and you have like no problem just talking to him on the phone. Just let
Yeah.
you're just being like,
You're like, you know what? Go ahead.
Yep.
yeah, they can threaten you all day and stuff, and
In
you're
fact,
just like,
if you can find the money to take from me, thank you.
That's what
I had a fucking bill collector one time going, do you have like a rich uncle or something you could ask for help?
Oh yeah, I've had them. Have you talked to your family? You know what? I'm not going to go to my family for money. So if you can find some, go ahead and take it because that'll pay off one of my bills, and I'll
like,
appreciate
rich
the effort.
fucking family member. I almost choked to death laughing, fucking hearing. I'm like, what rich family member would I fucking have? You know.
The great one was those crooked as hell check cashing joints.
Yeah.
My wife got into going to them when we were still together. And they're bastards when they call. And the one time, dude called on the machine. I came home and she was upset. I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Well, I got a message from the check cashing joint." I was like, "I thought we paid them." And it turned into this whole big thing. But then she plays the message for me, and the guy's like, "You owe us this much money, and we need it by this day, or maybe I'll just be showing up at your house so that we can handle this." I was like, "Oh, no fucking way." So I like called him back, and then I was like, "Look, here's my address. You come on the fuck over, and we'll fucking handle this." And then they never showed up.
He's like, "All right, bitch, I'll be right there." You're like, "I know, just
They got a recording of you doing it. And they fucking,
Dude, I've had people.
They sued me, for all my savings, and they cleaned out my bank account.
I've had those people call us where they're like
the nice thing is I
pinpointing your
can't
address.
be sued. I'm utterly judgment proof. What are they going to take from me? I actually got here. You want to know how broke I am? I got a lien notice from a collection agency putting a lien on me for $0. That's how good I have it.
Nice. That's a good one.
you
So
win.
apparently they did their accounting, found out what I have, and they put a lien on nothing.
Well, shit, you should be happy because you could be like, well, I can pay that.
No, maybe you can't, dude.
Yeah, I'd like to pay off the full balance now, please.
I just did that the other day where I got the message. I saw the phone ringing, knew it was a bill collector, waited till they left the message, called them right back. Was like, "Hey, it's Don Anderson. How you doing?" All happy and stuff. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Anderson, it's good to hear from you," because like they've been calling for the past 2 months. Like, "Yeah, we've been trying to get this out. It's like the last day. You even have a chance. It's going to go to collections." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot."
So how much do you think you could pay on that? Nothing?
Yeah, they're
Nothing at all.
They're like, a payment
Just want to
of
see how you're
$32.
doing.
And
You
they're
call
like,
here all the time. I figure we're friends.
a payment of $32. You can have that, recycled back through. We're good to go. Oh yeah, that'd be great. I can't do it though. Don't have the money. He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" My bank account's negative, jackass. I got no money. And he's like, "Well, you can send a money order." I'm like, I got time to send you a stupid money order.
I get the car.
Yeah, I'll send the money order after I withdraw the money from my negative balance account, retard.
Right? I'm just gonna pull the money out of my ass. Go to Walmart, buy a pack of smokes.
I get the car company calling me from and they always got that Hindus on the other line. They call me so damn much. I'd be like, "Hey, how's the Boost children doing today?" "Oh, very good, very Mr. Seuss."
Doctor, can I call you doctor?
Yeah.
It's Cease.
Oh, God.
Is Shelly on the line? She was nicer than you.
Yeah, you kind of suck. She sounded like
Is
she's
she there today?
Yeah.
I like the green eggs and ham. You want to make a payment?
You very
Dude,
funny.
I had
know
so
you
many
got
fucking
money,
rude
so lots
fuckers
of-
call me, like, they all want to act like they're going to threaten you and shit. Like, we're going to come over there. I can't keep doing this. You're going to have to deal with our legal department. And I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, well, I don't know what you think's going to happen. This killed me. They're like, yeah, do you have a rich fucking relative? I'm like,
That's crazy.
who?
Yeah, I'm gonna go murder one of my family.
Yeah,
members.
you've actually reached the point where just having a relative who could lend you the money isn't enough. They better be rich.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if that works on anybody though. They're like, oh yes.
You know what? I didn't. My uncle
You know
might give me
what?
the money now that
God.
you mention it. Hang on.
Aunt Stella has been in a wheelchair lately, and she takes a
I
tumble
can
down the
shove her
steps.
up on the
Well, I
steps.
don't know. Uncle Pegleg there in his fucking treasure chest. He doesn't let us over his house all that often. What the fuck are they
Bill
talking
Gates
about?
doesn't talk to me anymore.
Oh, my mom has been in the hospital for a while. If you guys can hold on for a couple months, I'm sure we can work something out.
I just fucking went right to a lawyer. I'm like, could you guys tell me how I can handle this? And just to get, I don't even care about the penalties of bankruptcy and shit. I don't get rid of these fucking feeble assholes and calling my house all the time. And the lawyer's like, here's a form letter. Okay, the next time they call, get their address and send this to their legal department, and then they'll cease and desist. Like, what have they done? She's like, then you let us know, and we sue them. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I can sue the collection department. God, what a boner, you know? Wouldn't you just love to be able to do that? You know, it's like, yeah, I can't afford to pay my bills, but for some odd reason, I can afford to sue the fuck out of you. Hooray!
And you can pay my bills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never
Hell
happened.
yeah, dude, I would be certainly turning that shit around to something fucking lucrative. You know, like, yeah, I can't afford to fucking pay my bills. But now that you came into my life,
Yeah, see, I've never wanted to go that route, and I've tried
I'd like
hard
to be that
not to
guy
be a
at the
dick
job,
about it
you know?
because at the end of the day, the core of the problem is I'm a fucking idiot who can't handle my money, and that's not their problem. But you know, then they make me mad.
now they got nobody told them they had to be a bill collector for a living. I hear that shit all the time about how you know the truck driver. It's like, we can twist that into any fucking job now, can't we? You know, oh, I didn't have to be a truck driver. You're right, but I am. You didn't have to be a bill collector. You could have went to school for some other shit. So, because I have no real life and any way of really venting my hostilities, guess what, buddy? You just inherited the fucking, You got the crown. Congratulations.
You win.
Yeah.
I used to worry about bill collectors. Now I'm just like, I can't wait for them to call.
So,
Instead of paying for the
so-and-so there,
fucking
it's like,
shrink,
who's
you
this?
just yell at them.
Who here
are you?
pretended to be like somebody else when the bill collector?
I've done it. I've
You
done
know,
it.
you're just like, hey,
Oh,
John there's like, no. Well, who's this? This is Jim.
You did that a few times. Yeah, well, my brother ain't here. I don't know. I don't pay the bills here. I'm just living here for a couple of days.
See, I'm golden on that one because anytime they would call and ask for Larry, junior or senior. Oh, you mean my son? No, he's not here.
See, you know what I did? As they called my work at Marco's when I was working at the pizza place, and I was the one who answered the phone. I'm like, Marco's Pizza, this is Donnie speaking. May I help you? And they're like, can we speak to Donnie, please? And I was like, yeah, this is him. And they're like, Donnie, this is whatever, Citibank, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, did you say Donnie? No, he's not here. No, that's the other Donnie. I'm Donnie James something. I said something. I was like, no, he's not here. All right, I'll leave him a message. Bye. Click.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but like if you tell them, I mean, you can literally tell them because we used to have. We were stupid enough to get a Sears charge card, which you don't realize that the second you make a fucking charge on a Sears card, they will call you every fucking day for the rest of your life.
That's how you die.
Okay, and even if it's like paid up, they're like, you have a charge card from us, and eventually you're going to have to pay us for something. We want to remind you.
You have a charge card with us?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought we paid that off. You did. We're just reminding you to keep it that way.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
I'll just remind you, you can use it once in a while. I had it.
Told me it, but I looked up. It's
You haven't
totally
used your
true.
charge card in a while.
You can, if they call you, even if they call your house or they call your work, they're like, well, we need to know where you work because we need to reach you. That's in case they need to reach you. If you tell them, I do not want you calling me at home or at work ever, they can't call you at work or home. And if they do, if you can somehow fucking prove that they're doing that shit, man, fucking, you ain't got to worry about that bill no more, dude.
Yeah, you ever been talking to a bill collector and then like they like they're just talking and you like kind of just hold the phone away from yourself and you're like, I'm just hanging up. You just hang up.
Yeah, like you don't have to talk to them.
Yeah, you're just I'm just done. There's nothing else for me to say. I can't win this argument or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I just
I
don't
love
care.
that shit. You can't get them off the phone. You just like, God damn it, I tell you, I ain't got nothing. And they're like, sir, you don't have to get all that violent with me. I'm like, I'll fucking kill you. And they hang up. Yeah, that's what I thought, you pussy.
Yeah,
I never get excited more. They're like, you owe us so much money. I'm like, oh yeah?
Cease wants him to show up because he's
That
so
sounds
angry.
exciting.
Wants to
So
tear
I
into
expect
somebody.
you pay this. All right.
It's only
Okay,
the
cool.
asshole. You know, the typical one that just don't take no for nothing, and they're like, well,
I like when you tell them, I'll say, I got the check. I'll send it to you. Like, could you give us the check number? It's like, no, I can't do that. I don't believe in giving numbers out over the phone. Well, how do we know you get
4?
I'm like, well, you don't. Yeah, 4. There you go.
All right. So I guess we'll get to me.
Yeah, let's hear this story, Kevin.
Trying to probably when I lived with Dan James.
Someday it might happen to me.
Living with Dan James was probably the brokest I was. I was originally living in a Fairview apartment with Amber, and I was broke, and I was going to move back in with my dad. But then Dan James called up and he was like, "Hey, I got this house, and you only got to pay $100 for rent." And I was like, "Well, if it's $100, I can swing that, And so I was like, all right. He's like, we just got to mow the lawn once a week or something. And I was like, cool. Little did I know that Dan was like the kind of guy that he could not hold a job to save his life.
Nope.
So, like, we eventually had no telephone.
What?
We had like I was the only one paying the bills like 90% of the time, and
Did you just give him money and like the bills didn't get paid?
well, yeah, at times he would say shit like, I'm going to buy a bunch of water softener salt, so I need like a bunch of money because I'm going to get like 3 or 4 months ahead of time and stuff. And I'd be like, all right. Even though I knew it was like...
We had like a party at his house.
I knew it wasn't true. Because he had that brand new truck, and I knew he had to make a payment on it and stuff. And I was just like, all right. And I give it to him, but the water would still be slimy and shit because he never fucking bought the crap. And fucking, I would buy the heat for the place, which was propane. And it was horrible. Sometimes we wouldn't have like the gas for the stove because they were two different things. We'd have propane for the heat, and then there was like propane for the stove. They were separated, and you had to pay two different things. So sometimes we just wouldn't have any like gas for the stove and stuff. And we didn't have a phone, we didn't have cable. It was horrible, man. Anybody that wanted to talk to me.
I remember when you lived there, dude. I couldn't believe it. Like 2 grown men living in a nice big house with Christ, you would have thought you might have tried growing your own crops. You used to have food, Like, no, but there's always parties going on, like, nonstop.
Yeah, and somebody would have to page me, and then I would have to get on my bicycle and ride up to the corner to use the payphone.
And then when Lorraine Road got busted up, you had to go all the way around.
Dude, it was fucked up.
And you never even knew if you were there because if I paged you, I'd be like, well, shit, he's nowhere near a phone. I might as well just drive out there. And then I'd drive out there just to find out that you just took off to go drive to the phone to page me to tell me that you were going to be at home. And then I'm like, shit, I'm already here.
It was, dude. It was before cell phones, so there was just like really nothing,
Before cell phones, my God.
Affordable ones,
And then we'd have to go to the store.
Right, which was a million miles away because this was out in at the time North Ridgeville was like
cornfield.
Yeah, well, I lived on a farm, right, and it was just it was a long trek to get to get anywhere. It just was terrible, and that dude just like never had no money for nothing. But it was funny when the phone company connected our phone line by accident because they were turning on the phone line to they gave a phone to somebody somewhere. Their daughter had her own phone line, and when they turned on her line, it accidentally turned on ours. So we were using her phone and stuff, and she would be like on the phone. We'd pick it up and stuff. And she'd be talking to her friends, and she'd be like, "Hello." I don't know what Dan would say to her. Dan would probably be like, "Fuck you, bitch,"
Yeah.
Get off the phone. I need to use it.
Yeah.
He's in the attic. No.
Did you check the children?
Yeah.
He'd be calling 1-900 numbers on it, thinking it's funny and shit. Yeah, that was fucked up. So that was pretty bad. I've had those moments in my life where I've had no money and I've had to ask other people for money. Like when my dad died, I went to the funeral home and they were like, "Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that your dad did have a plan for his funeral," which I was the one who actually put it together. But it was like 2 years after he had his stroke, so they didn't know who put it together. And he was like, "The bad news is it wasn't paid for."
Right.
So before we're gonna do any of this stuff, you got to give us.
We know exactly what he wanted and was unable to afford.
Here, well, you have to give us $700 or something. And I was like, $700. It was like when it was all said and done, it was like $1,000 because okay, here's the thing: when you get cremated, like if you're going for the cheapest death possible, right, which is what I was shooting for, if you don't if you're like I don't want the urn, they charge you $150 for a cardboard box. That the ashes are in. That's what they charge, fuckers. So, so I had to go ask a friend for $1,000 that luckily Eric Wolpaw loaned to me. Thank God for it. Because I could have called my mom, but it would have been
somewhat awkward?
It would just, you don't know with her. You might get a big, well, I don't think that I should, or something,
Yeah.
You're gonna be like,
come out here and paint my house,
You just don't want to be in her pocket. It's gonna be like a bunch of bad emails and hate letters and shit forever. Like she doesn't understand the situation. Like you're barely making it, so how are you gonna pay that money back? She's expecting a big check to come next month. I just wasn't going to deal with that. And I've had that situation, but then I had the situation where I was so broke, and then I got a speeding ticket. And I had to call the court people up, and they were like, "Well, it's going to end up being $200 and some and shit." And I was just
crying.
Well, and then you're just you just don't have them. You have no way of getting that money together. There's no relative around you could ask or anything. And I had to call her up, and I was like, "Look, You have to give me the money, or I'm gonna go to jail. That's the conversation I had with her. She's like, all right, I'll take a forward on my credit card and send it to you. I'm like, come on. Forward on your credit card?
Shitloads of money around.
I mean,
that fucking bitch never did nothing.
I don't know. The thing is that, I've had, like, those moments where I've just been, like, barely making it. Like, I would have $5 a day, which would get me to eat, because McDonald's had, like, the 2 cheeseburger meal for $3. And people would be like, well, why didn't you brown bag it? The reason I didn't brown bag it was because I live with Dan James. Okay, so if I had, like, the lunch meat and the stuff in the fridge, he'd eat it all. Okay, so you couldn't do that. So I'd have $3 for my fast food meal, and I had $2 for gasoline, which at the time, in my Camaro that I had, would be, like, enough to get me to work and back.
Yeah.
And that would be, like, maybe. I would be surviving on $5 a day, and if I didn't have that $5, I was in trouble. I mean, that might mean no meal, or it might be that I had to go beg somebody for cash. Right. Which was like a frequent occurrence. Just going up to people and being like just being like my boss or something and be like, hey, think you can loan me $20? It's so embarrassing, but it's like, what are you gonna do?
You try to make it as casual as possible. You're like, hey, what's going on? You're just sitting there. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, not much.
Just looking at y'all cold, like, what do you want?
Hey, can I get the 20?
They look at you like you're like a fucking absolute drug addict. What's the matter? Can't afford to eat? What the fuck?
Hey, how about
doing?
hey, you got $20 I can borrow? Like, it's no big deal. Like, hey, come on, give me $20. You got $20? We lost Larry, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
No, didn't notice.
I don't know what's going on with him tonight. All right, I'll get him back.
You didn't pay that.
So
it's all right. Brian's been kind of fading in and out too. It might just be a Skype thing tonight.
I've been bumming money so much. It's ridiculous.
So
I'm still bumming money off my girlfriend, dude. I can't balance a checkbook to save my fucking life. I can't. I've tried. It doesn't work.
So, 2 fingers.
Yeah. As you guys approach your futures, we're all still relatively young in the sense that we're all going to be.
No, we're not. Dude. We're almost dead.
If we all tend to retire,
it's like that scene in fucking Lake Placid where they look at the alligator and he goes, "It's half dead and it's half alive." No, we're half dead.
Well,
over half, really.
Well, let me ask you this, Brian. Do you think you're going to be able to retire?
No.
Wow, Kevin just knows how to stick it in and break it off.
Yeah, no shit. Dude, I'll be lucky if I make it through this year alive. I mean, who the fuck plans that far ahead?
Hiring. I don't know. Yeah,
listen to this guy.
After I buy an island, that's my plan. I'm going to buy an island. I'm going to retire.
I think that money I was putting away in the fucking in that 401k is actually going to go to me. Sorry,
it's an interesting question because they tell you that there is no I don't know if do you get a pension where you work, Brian?
Yeah, but they froze it.
Okay, because these days there's no more pensions.
They froze it, but now
cases.
We get 401k, but it's like nobody's holding their breath.
Right, exactly. So you're supposed to be saving, and
sure,
right, exactly. I mean, the problem with that is that you would have to have if you had say if you wanted to have $50,000 a year, which right now you'd be like that's great, but hold on, in 30 years when you probably retire, that's not that much.
Be dick.
And the thing is, if you were going to try to survive on $50,000 a year, you would need to have saved $1 million in the bank, and that would only hold you for 20 years past retirement, which a lot of people could live past. Probably not you, Brian, but a lot of people could live past. So the thing is that you're basically saying that's just not it's not going to happen for you.
No.
Wow.
Basically, it's not even a question, dude. No, it's not going to happen.
Okay, Anderson.
I have a pension through the union that has quite a bit of money in it. So, only thing is, I get early retirement. Our hall's 25 years. You're in and you're out. So I'll be retired by 50, 57, 55. I can get that, something like that.
Really? You really think that's going to happen?
Huh?
You think so?
What, that I won't? What, like I'll be alive to collect it, or
do you think you'll be able to subsist on how much you're going to have in your pension?
No, not at all.
No,
yeah, it's out
because I haven't been working. I mean, that's from like 7 years of solid work. You know what I mean? Now I haven't done anything, so it's just kind of just sitting there and
rotting.
You know what I mean? It's not growing because I'm not working.
Social,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you get a Social Security check too. So you can get that's part of your money if Social Security is still going to be there in 30 years, which by all accounts it doesn't seem like it will be.
Right.
Larry?
No. Honestly, I have had real jobs where there are some retirement accounts out there someplace, none of which are substantial enough for me to really track or care about. There's really no part of me that all of my usual hyperbole aside, I don't see me being here at 62 or whatever the age is. I just don't. So I don't think about it that much.
You'd like to check out early, but they're going to torture you a long time.
I don't think I know there's the part of the universal karma or whatever that will keep me alive just so I have to go through this longer to prolong it. But realistically, with my health and my weight and my diet and my occasionally having to sleep in cars and forage for food in people's bushes and trash, I'm not going to make it to 60.
Wow.
And realistically, with my drinking,
at least you have a survival plan.
The fact that with my drinking and my weight and my other health issues, I refuse to go to like a doctor unless I'm seeking pain meds or something. I never have health insurance when I can opt out of it. I'm going to die a painful, long, prolonged death, and that's going to be how life gets back at me.
Right.
But it's going to be at a young age.
We don't need you to bum all of us out. Cease?
Yeah. I was just thinking right now, all the mothers are coming in there hearing their teenagers listening to this shit. They're like, you can't hear this no more. Turn it off. Turn that crap off.
These guys aren't helping you.
This is what drugs does to you.
Are you in one of them culps?
But I've never squandered my money on drugs to all the moms and dads out there. Yay.
Uh-huh.
We used them greatly. No.
Just everything that surrounds the drug lifestyle.
Yeah, everything without it.
This is what happens when you live a rock and roll lifestyle. It kills you.
Other people.
Everything except the joy that comes from doing the drugs.
Yeah.
I get
Just
to come
the misery
down
part.
off of the drugs, but I never get the high. I think I'm doing it wrong or something.
You're fucking broke when you're having a NyQuil a weekend. You're like, wow,
Yeah,
that bottle's going to get me through the whole weekend. That's awesome.
I'll take the red stuff on the rocks.
Yeah. You're completely fucking just hopeless.
I was always able to scrounge money at least for the Beast or Natty Light.
Milwaukee's Beast. Yeah.
I'll get my 12-pack for $4.
Boone's Farm wine is like high culture.
Oh yeah, Boone's Farm was when I had something to celebrate.
Yeah, until you vomit it up later.
Paycheck day, Boone's Farm.
Fago Red Pop everywhere.
Awesome.
Or Mad Dog. That was my other big one.
Mad Dogs. Mad Dogs when you're at your wit's end. Like I guess.
2020's key.
You drink Mad Dog when pot dealers won't even fucking deal you fucking weak because you're afraid you might rob them. Because you're so fucking down on your luck. Like, that cat's going to fucking thieve, man. No way.
Mad Dog.
It's when
You
you're
never-
You get a bag off and you start eating. You're like,
Listen,
yeah.
it's when you're flat ass broke and you start going through your shit to see what you can sell.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
at the exchange or
The worst is when you're flat ass broke and you start going through your girlfriend stuff to figure out what you can sell.
It's like you guys know exactly what I'm going through. This is amazing.
Yeah, when you want to sell something, you absolutely have fucking nothing to sell. Then you know you're flat ass broke too.
Yeah, that's when you reach the bottom.
When you rant about the way your wife has ruined you, and people say, "Why don't you divorce her?" I can't. Those divorce kits for like $100.
Oh,
Hello.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I got divorced.
Yeah,
I think
what the
it's
hell?
going to cost me $130 or something.
Larry, you broke up there a little bit. That's okay.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Cost you more for just a fucking file.
Okay,
That's all I'm paying
so
for.
Cease, you gonna retire?
Yeah, when they open the box and then throw the dirt on top, yeah, that's when I'll retire.
So you don't really have a plan, you think, or do you have a pension?
Plan. Jeez, I got to live for the next.
Yeah,
8
I'm setting
years,
aside
and then I'll
$10,000
worry
a
about
month for my pay, Kevin. That's what I'm doing.
Well, he might have an automatic pension, is what I'm asking. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know.
automatically taken away from him when he's dead.
You might be.
Yeah,
Most
you
of
know
us are
what?
gonna be
Every
dead, and
job
they're
I ever
like,
had-
sorry, but we fired him right before he retired. So
Do you have a 401k?
Yeah, every job before I had.
I always get
when I
always get fired
job-
right before I'm vested.
401k. You got a 401k?
Do you got,
it sounds like got rocks over there.
No, I'm just asking.
It's funny the way you said it.
It sounds like a
401k.
you did, dude.
Well,
It
whatever.
was funny.
It's hard to
It's
talk
almost-
over all
if
you
you-
guys. I got to throw it. I got to project. I got to get it in there.
If your voice was
No, when
like
I was-
raspy, you'd be like red from the tube by it. 401k.
Want a cookie for me?
All right, seriously. So you got nothing, is what you're saying.
No. When I was married and I was switching jobs, every time I'd get out of the job, I'd have to take my 401k and cash it and pay for, family shit and try to keep the house, and that worked well. So
Do you
Yeah,
have one-
when I was at Progressive and had I was in a good corporate environment. I had a plan. I was setting aside money
Good
for the
corporate
girls
environment.
for college.
When the fuck did that happen?
I was paying money for retirement and all that, and that within a matter of months, I was sleeping in my car because I had to cash out my 401k. Which, for those of you who are thinking about doing it, don't. No matter what, because the half of it that they let you keep when you cash it out early sucks.
Cease, do you have one now?
yeah, it's slowly. It's like there's nothing in it because I just started this job. So
All right, just curious. So I worry about it probably more than the rest of you because I don't want to be 90 still working on this computer shit because, I don't just, pull a lever and shit or whatever. I got to, think at my job. And I know as I get older, there's going to be a lot of younger dudes looking at me going, how do we get rid of that old fucker? So
You've done that.
I got it I got to be able to think and continue to do this job, and I can't do it at 80. I don't know. I mean, maybe Brian, you could drive a truck at 80 years old or something.
No.
But
I'm already getting arthritis, dude. No, that's just done.
yeah. So I mean, that's something I'm really concerned about. So right now, though, based on my current plan, forget about it. I couldn't do it. But I hope to be able to contribute more into it as I get older. I don't know. It depends, man. I think we're screwed, basically. I think pensions should have been around or something longer because this 401k stuff sucks because they left it up to us and we're all bad at it. We're like,
what the fuck do I know? Fidelity or whatever the fuck, mutual fund. I don't know any of that shit.
Dude, yeah, I toss as much as I can in my 401k because I know eventually there's going to come a time where I'm just, shortly before death, they're going to stick me in a hospital. And of course they keep all the things that could, make you take your own life away from you because they want to leech all the money they can out of you. Because hospitals don't cure you; they just preserve you long enough so they can fucking take all the money they can from you.
Preserve you.
Yeah, you're not fucking winning nothing there. So it's just fuck it. I need money just so that I could, eventually pass it, hopefully, on to my family before I fucking kick the bucket.
That's why I spend all the money now.
And
Like, look,
screw
kids,
that
all the money.
noise.
So I don't end up in a box next to a fucking another box that has video games, dad's ashes.
oh, you will. You'll be right there.
I tell the kids straight up, I'm like, we're spending the money, we're having fun, right? Yeah, good, because you're not getting any when I'm dead.
Yeah, we'll have a contest on VGN. Anybody want a little bit of Brian's ashes?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, let me ask you
Get a
guys
bunch of
something.
Pabst cans before I die. That's
I
great.
don't know what your everybody's parents here is still alive in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know what everybody's I have no idea what your parents, if they love you or not, or whatever. But
Not that it matters.
let's say your parents left you some inheritance and they pass on. What would be your plan? Let's say you got $100,000.
Oh my god, I'd faint.
Brian, what would you do with the money?
Eat, drink, and fuck it away. No. I would probably buy this place, this condo, because at least it's equity. You can get rid of it and rent it out or whatever, or sell it later. And that would be one payment less going out. You know what I mean? So, long term wise.
And then you could throw Jody out. You'd be like, "Get out! It's mine."
I still need food, so that can't happen. No, I would just as the condos are very low maintenance. Although I have to see how much it was going to cost me for the upkeep because you got to pay. For the garbage that goes out, and you got to pay for the cat that comes around and fucking does the snow plowing and all that shit. So it's like you still have to contribute something. But other than that, I would probably do that because okay, so maybe I'm looking at maybe $100, $200 a month as opposed to the $800-900 a month that's going out for rent. Condos are not fucking cheap even in Eastlake. So,
Anderson,
What would I do?
if you had $100,000,
he'd change his name.
Never see me ever again.
You got him on the
No.
phone. You just calliope music in the back.
That's an interesting. It's a very interesting question that you posed to me, Mr. Baird. I'm not really sure. I think what I would do is I would put it in the bank, and then I would just sit here on my computer and look at the number on my bank account, my online account, and I would just probably sit here for a couple days and stare at it and just be like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," because I'd be like, I'm just waiting for somebody to come knocking on the door, be like, "Yeah, that's not really your money, give it back."
Yeah.
So, it's I don't know. After that, I would probably freak out for a week or two, and it'd just be like I'd be like the dude that goes right into whatever Walmart or whatever store there is, and just be like, one of those, two of those, three of those. Hey, I'd like to tame your shrew. Whatever.
but wouldn't you seriously though? Wouldn't you immediately pay off all your bills?
Well, yeah. That's $100,000. Oh, I'm fine. I got more. That's cool. Yeah. That still leaves me with a good chunk of money.
Would you try to save any of it for retirement or anything?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'd probably take I'd put it all in the bank at first, and then that's when I would have to sit down and figure out, okay, I'm going to take this amount of money, and I'm going to put this into a specific kind of account or whatever kind of account that makes you the most money that you can collect the most interest off of, or something of that sort. Because, really, you might as well, because if you can get a good chunk of money out of it over a year, every year, if you get a nice check off the top of that, then you really don't have to work so much, and I'm all about being lazy. So, and then the rest of it would go to be bills, and then I'd be
Yeah.
Would you buy give me three of them.
Would you buy a new car?
No.
No, you might just stay with a used car. What I'm saying is would you buy a new one?
I'd keep my car. I would keep my car until it died. How about that?
Okay, that's a good
He
question.
would be like, "Wow, he's rich," but look at that fucking Delta 88.
Yeah, I don't know if $100,000 is rich. I would say you're well off.
He's got the money for a car.
Because you can blink and spend that money before you'd be like, I'm gonna buy a house. Like Brian just bought a condo and then he's broke again.
Dude, I'd be broke before I walked out the door. In reality,
now that'd be Larry because he'd be on some sports book and he'd be like, "Oh God, Larry."
Well, after taxes and child support and bills, I'd go to McDonald's.
Really, it's that bad?
Pretty much. I don't know if I could do it for $100,000, but I would open my own business.
Fail.
Yeah, no.
Epic
fail.
Yeah, don't do that.
I would be,
Don't be that guy.
You're like, don't do that.
No, because I have all these connections that I have fostered in my time living life as Larry Mack. I would I would open myself a music club. I already got a location. I already got a location picked out. Have a bar, would have some live bands, and my life would be turned around, and it would be a new and rejuvenated, happy Larry Mack.
Closed in a month.
Yes.
Selling drugs and prostitution.
Red eye,
all be gone.
Completely out of control.
The blink of an eye. But for those 5 glorious days that it was open, no, damn it. I would learn from my mistakes.
No, you
and
wouldn't.
The mistakes of others that I have seen in the industry, and I have a wealth of knowledge that I could use.
I really think you should just give the money to Cindy and let her decide what it should be spent on.
She would go move somewhere, and Larry would never get a hold of her again.
Cindy Mack would not do that to me. She is a wonderful, loving.
My love muffin took off with all my money.
Oh my god!
And
All right.
hopefully she lets you some money. You could fucking hire a fucking assassin.
Cease.
I'd get the whole inheritance and in singles, throw it all into a big swimming pool and dive in naked.
Dead.
Don Cease.
Crack it in the bottom.
Yes.
If you had $100,000, what would you do?
And crack my
Well,
head
you
on
know,
set.
I guess I'd figure out how much it would cost for my daughter to go to college, and I put that away, and then the rest would be paying bills. And
Someone said I
rest?
say that too, and I
Yeah.
thought about it, and I'm like, to colleges, man. I know cats that went to colleges, and like 4 years later, you see them, they're working at fucking like, some video store outlet. You're like, yeah, glad money well spent, huh?
Yeah. Well, I would like
Listen.
to give her the opportunity, like
You
instead
had
of
to
my
major in
parents,
British
look,
literature. That's
got
awesome.
absolutely nothing.
That's-
So there you go.
That's why you take a chunk of the money, put it into an account that's going to make you the most money on interest, and you use that money in a separate account, build that up, then you got your college fund.
Yeah, for all those kids listening at home whose parents shouldn't be letting you listen to this show, you can all see how well my college degree is paying off. Yeah,
And you can tell how good my advice is. Oh shit!
Yeah.
How the hell am I going to tell somebody else how to spell?
Want
spend
my
money?
advice? Go to a trade school. Do not go to college. Go to a trade school.
Oh,
Become a
fuck
nurse.
that. That's what I did. Trade.
Yeah,
be
but
a
you got a
nurse.
job, don't you?
That fucking worked.
You got a fucking job.
Be a nurse.
Yeah, be a nurse, especially if you're a guy, man, because they fucking pay out the ass for male nurses.
Yeah, that male nurses, you get all the skanks that are there too.
Whatever.
What you want.
You know what?
Hey,
If I had $100,000, I would pay off my bills, which are bigger than a lot of people might imagine. And
And take VGN National, baby.
yeah, no, there wouldn't be enough money for that.
isn't it already kind of national?
Well, we'd have our own cable network.
It's even like
unmentionable.
Pan American. It's kind
Oh,
of
God,
like Pan
no.
American.
I would probably
Something with tumbleweed would be like the midnight to 2.
I would just end up putting a down payment on the house with the rest of it. Okay, so
Ever buy a house? Because nothing in life, except maybe a girlfriend, can nickel and dime you the way owning a house can.
that's true. But
That's some helpful advice from your uncle.
but there's
Larry.
also like a point of insanity when it comes to living under somebody else's roof. I mean,
There is.
my landlord came today and they chainsawed all the bushes off from the front of the chocolate house, and I don't know why. So if you come
Let's
to
keep
my
the vermin traffic down.
if you come to my house now, the bushes are gone except for one in the front in the corner. The rest are all been removed, including the ones in the backyard. I don't know why. It's just what happened today. I woke up, the bushes were. I went out to get a log.
Stinks.
There was like a chainsaw there and a hacksaw, and the bushes were gone.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
and a fresh mound of dirt about 6 feet long. I'm not sure what's under there.
Yeah, I just like I said on Facebook, I think that it's a scorched earth policy to remove me from the premises. Because
If we just take everything away from him, he'll get the idea and just leave.
And all the grass was soaked with gasoline, so I don't know.
Came home and there's just tree stumps.
it's very bizarre. Okay, so I was hoping Jason would join us, but he's still farting around.
Jackhammers your
He
driveway.
keeps saying 10 minutes and 10 minutes, and I don't know, maybe he's trying to
They're
get
installing
sober.
chuck holes.
Brian, if you have one lesson that people should learn about how not to lose money, what would that be?
The one lesson.
How can people
on-
conserve their money? What mistake in your life, or mistakes or whatever, cost you the
Okay,
most money?
here's something that I did
What's your
learn the
advice?
hard way, and if you guys want to debate it, you can. Although I can't see any of you doing it, because I'm fairly certain that you've made this fucking horrendous mistake too. But I discovered this. Those of you who are just getting out of high school and are about to enter the world, you poor foolish little fuckers, listen up. Do not get credit cards.
Yep.
And they're going to offer that shit to you in the mail, and it's going to sound awesome, limitless credit, okay? Most of that shit is a fucking scam. What they'll do is they'll give you the credit card, and then what they'll do is if you can only make minimum payments, they will sell your account to these fucking lawyers, and when they buy that account off them, that means that your account belongs to them, and they can charge you for the entire amount right away. Okay, so that means that they don't have to install payments that most of them won't. They'll just thieve all your fucking money. Get a debit card. That's all you're going to need. Then that comes to my second piece of advice. If you don't have the money for
Don't
it,
get a
that
debit
means-
card.
That means you can't afford it. Okay? If you can't afford it, don't buy it.
Okay.
Hold off. Just wait. Save the fucking money. Believe me, you'll feel better doing it. Because later on, all your fucking broke dick asshole friends will be like, I got no money, man. And they'll look like me.
Here's my piece of advice that kind of goes along with that, though. What you should probably do, I agree. You don't really want to get a credit card if you can help it.
But like borrowing money and you have to pay back.
But hold on, you should get yourself as soon as you're able to get yourself a secured credit card, which is one that you pay like $200 into an account, and then you have that credit card. They have your $200, and you borrow off that money. If you default on it for some reason, then they still have the money. They take it out of there. The reason why you want to have that is because, and this is what I've learned.
Credit score.
Well, no. What happened to me is that I never had a credit card until I was about, say, 27. And now creditors, when they look at my credit report, see this huge blank area, and they think I declared bankruptcy. Because when you declare bankruptcy, it wipes out everything, and they don't know you declared bankruptcy.
See, that's a bunch of shit.
So they
How can they just think that?
Well, they ask all the time. They're like, "Did you declare bankruptcy?"
Most of that shit, as far as I'm concerned, is a fucking huge scam.
And so
yeah, that shit pisses me off.
So the only thing you can do is I mean, obviously, if you get a car loan, like your dad co-signs for you, this was never an option for Brian and I. But if you can do something like that instead,
the fucking rust orange fucking engine
right,
block.
which establishes credit for you, or a school loan which establishes credit for you, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine if you can't pay it. But what I'm saying is that you have to have some kind of credit, because later in life, when you try to get a house or something, that blank spot that you have there will work against you for the rest of your life. So that will fuck up your credit score. So anyway, but the other part is, don't get credit cards, because...
Well, besides that, if you ever have to rent anything, like a car or anything, you need some kind of credit card.
Right.
Something.
Well, a debit card you could use, too.
You could use a debit card.
Yeah, but then you got to pay.
A debit card. You don't need nothing else.
I will amend it only in this way, because every so often I'll find the occasional oddball joint that won't take a debit card.
Yeah, you do get that.
What you do is you go ahead and get a credit card. Don't do it when you're in college, because those ones they offer, because in college, especially if you're living on campus, you'll get offers for 487 different credit cards, and the interest rates are always like 20%. You find yourself a credit card with a legitimate interest rate and get it, but leave it at home forever. Never take it anywhere with you. You are never going to find yourself in such an emergency that you need the cash then, and they won't take a debit card. Like hotel reservations, I've had problems with debits, airline reservations. So occasionally you'll need it, but never have it on you. But other than that, don't get a credit card.
Never let the woman in your life know you have it.
No. She'll take it from you.
See, mine along those lines was going to be, trust me. I think one thing that everybody can gain from all of the guys on this show, especially in my case, no matter how bad things are, there will be a woman out there for you. You will find somebody.
Yes.
Therefore,
it may not be who you think it is.
Yeah. Therefore,
may not be who you want it to be.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances is throwing out the wad of cash to impress a chick worth it. Because I have burned myself on that multiple times.
All right, we'll get around to you, Larry.
My bad.
I have
You're just gonna make us all sad, dude.
I have like $50,000 in credit cards, to give you an example. But they're not all Visas. I mean, I have like a Dell card that's a business card that's $10,000. I have a personal Dell card that's $8,000.
Do you want to give out this information?
He's got one card that you can only use at one specific store.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I have.
Like card for Jack's big and tall.
I canceled about 7. I canceled about 7 of them. I had like what's that place? Not Lowe's, the other place that's next door.
Home Depot.
Yeah, Home Depot. They sent me a card, like a $5,000 credit on. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with $5,000 at Home Depot?
Buy all
man?
your friends' chainsaws for.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy. So I canceled that shit. But then the thing is,
play
you
the
cancel.
Lumberjack song,
Okay, here's another thing. If you cancel your credit cards, though, that's bad. Because you've shrank your credit. Like, you had a bunch of credit. Like, let's say I had, like, say, $60,000 in credit. Then I said, well, you know what? I don't want these credit cards anymore. I'm going to get rid of $10,000 worth of credit cards. So then my credit went from $60,000 to $50,000. And the credit card companies go, oh, your credit shrank. That's bad. And then your score goes down. So there's, like, all kinds of things. Like, once you get a credit card, you're fucked. You got to keep it. Or you can default on it and then it's all over. I mean, forget it.
What's good about the Home Depot card, just to show you how I was kind of screwed or whatever while I was married or whatever. If I had to go shopping, if it was some kind of construction thing, I'd be like, well, I'll just go to Home Depot because it's Home Depot and they got to have it and I got the card, so it's all good. And I would only go there as opposed to like Walmart or Myers or whatever you got. And I would only go there because they got candy bars and they got sodas. So I would go in there and be like, I'm getting myself a 20 ounce. Here's me a king size Reese's cup. Here, throw it on the card. Because she never looked at the Home Depot bill, so I'd always get away with. She'd never want the receipts or nothing. She'd be
Dude,
like,
you were enslaved. I thought I was bad living with Lori. Fucking hell.
Oh no, I was. Yeah, I was.
Okay,
Lori never
Anderson.
asked for the fucking receipt. She would just look at how much came out of the account.
No, she wouldn't look for the. She wouldn't ask
She's
for the
like,
receipts.
what is
She'd just
this?
look at the bill. She would look at the bill and be like, "Why did you spend $30 at Home Depot? I thought the part was only $25 or whatever." Be like,
Okay, finally I get to add Jason Corbett to the line, and then we'll continue. So that's good. Let me get him on here. Because I'm sure he's got some interesting stories for us if he's not wasted.
Well, even if he is.
Even if it is, it's entertaining.
I'll wait for him to come on, and then I'm gonna go pee.
All right. Well, I had a question for you next, but if you got to go, that's fine.
Since he'll do a lot of talking.
I'll let him. Jason.
Hola.
All
There
right.
goes Larry.
All right, Anderson, go pee. And Jason.
You lost Larry.
That's fine. I'll get Larry again. Fucking Christ, this thing with Larry tonight.
Bag it up now.
Jason.
Yes, sir.
At what point in your life do you think you had the most money
Except Lord
that
Jesus
you
Christ,
were
Savior.
able to spend freely?
Okay, you gotta repeat that.
At what point in your life did you have the most free cash to spend? Not on bills, but money that was actually in your wallet that you could go out and do stuff with.
Well, considering that my lack of responsibility, it would be probably all the time. So, we're, you know me. We're not talking like this goes back 14 years old. And, Kevin had to buy my breakfast for me for the first time we met each other. So, never had money then, and I still don't have money now. What the hell? No. When I do have the opportunity to pay my bills, and then I have money to spend, I would calculate that if I did it the proper way, it would probably be at least one day a week.
No. What I'm saying is not right now. I mean, like your whole life. Like if you were back when you lived in, say, Jamestown, and you were working at Wendy's. Did you have money then? You could go out and blow it on anything. I mean, was there a point in your life?
Never had any money.
You never ever had it?
You all know this.
Boy, you and Larry are in competition as far as.
I win. Hands down. Never had money, period.
Oh, no, you were here for the Larry story.
Hey, Susan, you
Dude, we were crying. We felt so bad for him.
Yeah, it's like you. Hey, Corbett, let's go hang out. Let's go see a movie. No, I can't. Why? I was broke.
That is
Ask
true.
your mom for some money. No, they're broke too. So, never happened.
There was a point when I was with you though, and you would buy your mom like gifts out of the mall. Like you're like, I'm going to buy my mom a stereo for Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's because she gave me the money to go buy it for her.
All right, you got me there.
No, come on. When did I ever save money?
Wow. All right. So, at what point in your life then do you think you were, and if there was you were at your most poor, and if there was an epiphany that you had where you realized, man, I'm at the bottom, what would that be and when?
Again, I'm in that state of mind all the time. So
It started in 1972.
Hey, I got money, like to a valet. Man, I made $200, and then the next morning, I got $0. So it's really what it comes down to is just I got the check, I cashed it, and I spent it. I have and it's sad, and it's not going to give me any dates if there are going to be any women listening to the show. But I have no sense of a dollar bill. Never have. I'm trying to, but no. I'm always in that epiphany state where I'm thinking, God, I fucking suck.
Well, now, one time when I was over at your place and you were living with Carol, you literally had no electricity in your place. Okay, I'm thinking that was pretty bad. Now,
told me about that.
Has it been worse than that in your life? Can you think of it?
No, it's not been any worse than that. I mean, I've always had a roof over my head, and I've always come to my sense to a certain degree and certain level to say, hey, all right, don't go and buy whatever. Don't buy this. Don't buy that. You know, you gotta take care of responsibilities or whatnot.
Jason, you are pretty resourceful because, like, I used to Jason used to. Oddly, Jason used to live a lot on the east side of Cleveland, which we don't. If you live on the west side, you just don't get over there very often. Just the way the city's put together.
Yeah.
And he would always when I would talk to him though, he would always be like living with some
Unless
girl.
you want to be mugged.
Like he'd be like, "Come on over, dude," and I'd go over to his place, and he'd be like living in some girl's basement. And I'd be like, are you dating this girl? Are you? No, I just know her or something. And you're like, what? Okay.
In fact, she doesn't even know I'm here, so keep your voice down.
Yeah.
I collect her underwear when she's not around.
No, that, you know, I can't believe it, but I have a way of people. I guess maybe it's a puppy dog eyes. I don't know, but I'm a generally liked person, so. Whether they feel sorry for me or they just want to help me out. I mean, I don't mean to be conceited, but that's just the way
So
it
being
is.
pathetic works for you. That's awesome.
Pretty much, that's
that's kind of why. Yeah, that's kind of why I always had a job because I know no one likes me enough for that shit.
I knew that was not going to work out in my case either, sir. So don't feel too bad.
You know,
I used to mooch off of everybody. Right? Everybody used to be like, "Here, go ahead, take it."
So, Jason, do you think you'll ever retire?
No.
No.
I'll be digging my own grave to put myself in it.
Do you have no like retirement savings or anything?
No, I don't have any retirement savings. I did, and then I got laid off, and then the company went Christ. But it's just no. I got a game plan right now. It's unfortunate that I have to realize that at 36, but you know, I got some ideas and goals, and I'm sticking to them, and hopefully they'll work out. I mean, I'm older, I'm wiser, and I think I'm done with this charade of whatever it is that I do. But maybe someday, my goal is, yes, I would like to retire and just not have to worry about shit.
Move to Florida.
If you won,
back to Florida.
If you're, let's just say, you got $100,000 inheritance, what would you do with the money?
If I got that now,
yeah.
I would probably invest it. Mostly, I take a little bit for myself, probably like $10,000, and then take the 90 of it and put it in like CDs or IRAs.
Would you pay your bills with it?
And if you asked me 14, I'd be like, I'm gonna go and freaking blow up. You know, I'm gonna buy an Atari.
Do you have any kind of like outstanding bills though? I mean, would that eat into it? Or are you pretty?
No, it wouldn't eat into it. I'd say about a quarter of it, I could probably pay off all my bills right now.
Okay.
And then the rest of it, I could just throw
You wouldn't
in.
buy yourself like a car or a house or something with it? You would just put it in the bank?
Yeah.
A better scooter.
Yeah. I get the black scooter. No. Yeah, I'd probably be able to buy a car or something like that. Yeah.
Like the one Darth Vader's riding.
Hey, whatever. I got a scooter, man.
They're fun, man.
I'd take mine to work when it's warm out all the time, dude.
That's not you dressed as Darth Vader, is it?
No, that's like some Honda scooter anyway. I got like a freaking Yamaha or something. All right, so that takes us to this point then. Anderson, if there's a lesson for people that you want them to learn about money problems, what piece of advice would you give?
I would have to just pretty much echo what I wanted to say. Brian said, if you can't pay cash for it right now, then wait.
Right.
And credit cards are the devil. They will suck you in so hard. At one point in my life when I was living in Maple Heights, I had 3 credit cards. And I was taking cash withdrawals off of one card, putting it into my bank account, writing a check, sending it to the other 2 cards. Yep. Then I would take a cash advance off of those 2 cards, put that money back into. It was just disgusting. It was absolutely
because it never occurs to you that you're gonna have to pay that shit back one day. You know,
you're just like, I'm eventually gonna get to it. I'm eventually gonna, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait a minute, I lost my job.
And I thought, Anderson, you were doing really well when you were living in Maple Heights. I'd go over there. You had furniture. You had like TV and stuff. It was nice.
Oh yeah,
you had your own place. I was like, Anderson's doing all right. You know,
I was. You know what? Come to think of it, in all the years that I've known Anderson, I've never been to any of his places.
Well, that would have been the place, and
because he doesn't like
it. No, you stupid. You were over at Oakwood Estates.
Well, that was you were sharing those. That was your only place that was yours.
Sorry, that must have been like my memory lapse deal because I don't remember that.
And then after that,
and then you live with your brother in Clint and stuff.
Yeah,
you never been over at my place.
Yeah. See?
But whatever. That's when you played Resident Evil and we were all playing board games and I stopped.
I remember that now. Okay.
I was like, everybody watch him. Everybody watch him. He's gonna jump, and then something happened, and you jump like a little bit.
I
was like,
jumped like a little girl.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good times.
Okay, so no credit cards. Boy, nobody said don't get married. That's interesting. Larry,
You never asked me. That's why.
what we haven't got to you yet. Larry, what piece of advice would you give people about money?
No, the credit cards were the biggie, actually. That's
They knew better. They didn't give them you any.
no, I also had 3 of them that I was juggling, and I did figure out not to take the cash advance against the one to pay the others, but I would put the balance or the payment of the one onto the others because you pay less interest on those than you do the cash advances.
That's
There
good.
you go. Smart.
It's awesome.
That was good.
I will say this, though. I
I
actually know a guy, or used to know of a guy, one of our vendors, when he opened a computer parts place, and when he opened his place, he had like no startup capital. He basically had 3 credit cards, and he maxed out the one card, and like each month he took that balance and transferred it to another card, and then to another card, and kept them going in a circle, but made sure he never missed that date so that there was never any penalties or interest tacked onto it. It was just that one balance that he kept revolving through the cards until the business got going, and then he paid it all off. So you can do it if you're smart, but when you come out of high school and you're in college, you're not that smart.
That's the key.
You'll think you are. Yeah.
It's a gene or something. It really is.
It's a gene. Is that what you just said?
Dude, I'm almost half tempted to believe that shit.
I'm
It
hoping.
really is. So it's
I'm hoping
like
that's
Some
It's
cats are just really good with money, and then there's me.
I'm terrible with money. I'm the worst person. Don't give me your money. I had money for the band.
Well,
I was selling
Take
tapes.
all your money. Fuck that.
You know, hey, where's your tape? Where's your tape money? I'll have to give it to you. Can I get a couple more tapes though? Sure. Okay, I'm gonna go sell them.
Jeez.
I'm the worst.
Cease? Piece of advice?
Yeah. I should bring up the marriage thing, but if you're going to get married, the best thing to do is keep all your shit separate. Everything. Have your own accounts, have your own bills. If she had bills before you got married, have her pay her own bills. Her own car, your own car. That way you know each other. If you have to split up, all your shit is separate already, and you don't have to fight over it. And you don't get her like any kind of credit card she signed up for because they were in her name before you're married, and don't get any while you're married or anything together like that, except for the house. I guess you have to sign for it, but other than that, keep it separate. And that is my.
But if she
advice.
puts her name on a credit card that's your last name, that you're still partly responsible for that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah, if
trying
it's after
to
you're
keep
married.
an eye on shit,
Fucking-
make sure
yeah,
she ain't
you gotta-
signing for extra ones. And
Yeah, she got to put everything in her friggin' maiden name if she wants to do shit like
Start
that.
beating the beatings, in that
Yeah.
process where the purging begins.
Yeah, so as soon as you marry her, chop off her hands so she can't sign shit.
They cut out her tongue.
Jason? What's
Yes.
your,
about her teeth so she can't grip the pen.
Jason, what's your piece of advice?
You just stay away from them. They're no good. They're
women or
nothing
money?
comes good. There's nothing. Yeah, as I think Mr. Bischoff once said,
It's a lot cheaper.
if you have the money in the pocket to pay for the item, don't use your credit card. Bischoff.
And if you don't have the money in your pocket, don't buy the item.
Well,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
So we're talking
See that's the part that screws people up.
Well, that's true, but if credit card wise, just don't worry about it. Just don't even get them. They're a waste of time.
My piece of advice when it comes to credit cards is that you should only use them in emergencies.
Yes.
If you have to get your car fixed and you don't have the money to pay for your car repair, okay, but don't buy an appliance.
But what if, dude? I mean, come on.
Christmas.
How often does Iron Maiden come over here touring?
Right,
I
exactly.
need to see them this time.
Don't do it because it's just you got to have some self-control, because before you know it, whatever max balance you have, it'll be there, and you'll be making minimum payments on it forever.
Yeah.
Because you'll just never pay it down. And they'll be nice. They'll send you a little message, and they'll be like, we've increased your credit, and you'll go from like
don't accept it.
2,000 to like 5,000, and it'll just climb and climb and climb until you can't make those payments anymore. And then
they're not so nice.
Yeah, then you're a
It's
hose.
even worse now.
Well, yes, but the good news is, and this was actually a while ago, that Congress made them increase those minimum payments. So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
Because it used to be they structured the minimum payments so that you really never would pay it off, because the minimum payment was less than the interest.
I have a card.
So it would go up $200 each month, and your minimum payment was like $180.
Right. I have a loan that I'm paying off right now. I pay $217 automatically or whatever out of the account every month. Well, except for last month. Anyways, $217, and then when you look at the bill, it's like $205 worth of finance charges, and then the rest of it goes to the balance. So it's like I'm down $10. Like, sweet, I just took $10 off of that. That's great. I feel real good about myself.
Oh, $8,000 to go. Yeah.
Don just reminded me of my other bit of advice for everybody out there. Do not allow any of your bills to be directly taken from your checking account. Because they do not care if you have enough in there to cover it. And contrary to what you think, your bank doesn't really care if you have enough in there to cover it, because they'll just do with overdraft fees, and they get free money out of you.
They love it.
Yeah, and then if you took like 4 items out that week, if they're like $2 each, you get tacked for every item.
Yeah,
overdrawn $30, $30.
Why can't the bank?
The other stunt that the banks like to do, because I've dated multiple girls that worked at banks. The other stunt they like to do is say you have $50 in your account and 3 charges come in. One is for like $10, one is for like $20, and the other one is for like $60. They'll make sure to do the $60 one first, so both of the other 2 are overdrawn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do that all the time. You know what I got hit with last month? I had 3 things that went over, and they were like, bam, 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 3 overdraft charges. I looked at my account like 2 days later. It said, additional 3 overdrafts in a row charge. Like, what?
Really?
Yeah. They're like, your account overdraft 3 times.
I haven't had that one. I've had the one where your overdraft was overdrawn for more than 2 days, so that's another charge. I've had that one.
My shit's so sick. It's disgusting.
Dude, the thing that's fucked up, right, is that the bank, it's a computer, right? They know how much money you have. Why can't they just reject the fucking payment?
Right.
Why are they accepting it?
Because
they make the money.
Well, no, you're right, but that's such
they're
helping you out.
That's such
they're helping
bullshit.
That's what my bank. They said we have plans for that, where you can get this line of credit.
You get the overdraft.
And then
Except
if you're overdraft,
with your name and your credit, you can't get it.
There was a point in my life.
Get it. And they said, but hey, how about this other one where you go ahead and put $300 into this other account? I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm fucking broke. Like, I got $300 to just throw into another account.
I had $300 to put in my account.
If you were one of those
overdrawn,
if you're one of these people that this happens to you, I highly suggest, this is to our listeners, that you don't have a bank account. You just don't have one. Just get your paycheck, go to like your grocery store, cash it there, keep the cash, pay your bills with money orders. Yeah, you're paying that money order fee, 50 cents a money order, whatever.
I disagree. I say get the bank account.
No,
because those money orders add up.
No, they don't. Because the first time you get the first time you get that chargeback fee, you've basically had like 56 money order payments paid for. I mean, that's a single charge. It's like $28 or $32 now or something like that. It's completely, you're just getting fleeced. Between that and all the fees that you have to pay at the bank, you're completely getting ripped off. If you cannot keep a minimum balance, just don't have the account. Don't. I mean, trust me. I'm telling you, it makes no sense to have the bank account.
Don't listen to him. You need a bank account. You can't get around in this world without a bank account.
Yes, you
it's
can.
It's a nice dream, but you have to.
No,
have
you
it.
don't need it. Why do you need a bank account? For what?
Oh, here he goes.
Because
first of all, we already established that you're not getting any credit cards, so now you've ruled out a debit card.
Right, and weren't you the one who said get a debit
so
card?
now you will never be able to order anything online.
Wrong.
You'll never
have
be
credit.
able to
Wrong. It's
reserve
not true.
anything.
Wrong.
You'll never stay in a hotel.
Not
You'll
true.
never take an airplane.
Not true.
You'll never.
Wrong.
Go live in a mountain.
Not true.
Yeah.
Wrong. You can go buy a gift card. You can charge it. You can go to the grocery store.
You're
You
gonna
buy
charge it on.
What? No,
With
you can
cash?
charge it up. Yeah, you go to the grocery store. You buy one of those cards, and you can charge it up
Mumbo
with cash.
jumbo. Mumbo
Oh,
jumbo.
No, it's not. It's not mumbo jumbo. It's not. And magically,
I see those all the time at the Cheesecake Factory.
Right, and
Those-
magically, the banks will not let you overdraft them. So that suddenly you don't end up taking any fees. The guy comes back and goes, "This thing's empty." There's, and then you're like, "Okay, I got to go." You run out of the fucking
cold
restaurant.
feeling coming over. You're like, oh.
You don't need a bank account. You do
There must be
not
some
need
kind of
one.
mistake.
It's a fucking lie.
You're sitting at the
gotta have a
fucking
bank account.
restaurant.
No, you don't.
Like,
Kevin-
Oh, wait, your
Kevin's
card
wrong.
rejected the bill.
Okay, I am in better financial health than all of you, so I
Right.
outweigh all of
You
you.
have a bank account.
No, but I have one, but
Okay, that's all
I'm
you
telling
need.
you, you don't
Have you
need
ever had an
one.
overdraft charge, Kevin?
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go.
don't have one. You're done.
Not even taking your own advice.
No, not lately.
Dude, I'm not even taking my
Kevin's
own
advice is so good he doesn't even take it.
I haven't had one in
We're all
over a
giving advice,
decade.
and we're all fucking
Yeah, I
bastards.
Yeah, now because it's
Well,
late.
the people that fuck up the most have the best advice, don't they? Don't do what we do.
Don't do what we do. And then people look at
Do
us
as
and go,
I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're one of those guys that constantly ends up paying the bank $100 and something because of overdraft charges, don't
if
have the
every
bank
couple
account.
of weeks you're doing that, then yes.
But there are
Sit back
people
and
that
take
do
stock
that.
of how you're approaching things.
Yes, right. But there are people that do that because they just don't. They can't handle their money
And
properly.
that's not because they didn't listen to you and they got a bank account. That's because they didn't listen to me and they let people take money directly out of their bank account.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you got
right.
idiots that
That's
just don't pay
right.
attention.
No automatic payments from your bank account.
Right. Send them a money order and close the bank account. You'll have more money. Fuck the banks. They're just trying to
Just
screw
hate
you.
yourself, Brian.
Banks make all their money on fucking you over.
No, that was me.
Oh, good.
I'm glad somebody caught that.
All right.
I was listening, but I wasn't sure who was going to claim responsibility for the hanging.
Jeez, I lost Corber.
He gave up on you, dude.
Let me see what he says here. Hold on.
He's like, you have to have a bank. I hate you.
From now on, he only does the show for 5 minutes.
He's like, why are these guys in suits at my front door? I gotta go.
No, he's. I did send him the Milo, so
Oh my God.
he should have Skype next week. I don't know how
Oh my
well
God.
I don't know how well it'll work, but
You won't believe this. What?
Yeah. It's full of stars.
The phone comes on, all I hear is Carver, get out!
You'll never take me alive.
Fuck you, it's a podcast.
Me. I'm in the trunk of a car.
We're the FBI. You're gonna get down.
sorry,
You went down.
we were arguing about the merits of having a bank account.
Kevin was telling us all we can't have an account. So
No, I'm saying you shouldn't have one if you have a
So we
problem
had to
with
give him our
overdrafts.
numbers because,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
basically what happened was I said, if you're not careful, you can get overdraft
just like I
charges.
pull a lever
And
for a
Kevin
living.
said,
you know.
well, you guys who got overdraft charges are fucking dumb. You're idiots. Ugh.
Yeah,
And then I said, hey, what happened to Jason?
yeah, that's
And I screwed up. Did you hear my voicemail?
no.
no,
All right, cool.
we can't hear those.
'Cause I'm-
Why is it?
No,
Jay?
I was trying. No. All right, whatever.
Oh, this is
You were trying to
Jason.
call back, yeah. I can't.
Hey,
no.
fellas, it's me, Jason.
But we're in a conference
Well,
call.
if when I get reached around, push
That's
number.
not what I meant. Whatever.
Let's do trombones, 50% off.
Assholes. All right, go ahead. Continue.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean that's basically it. I don't have anything.
I'm
else.
right and they're wrong.
We
Jason,
pull
do you think
levers
people
and
should
he
have
does.
bank accounts?
Jason,
I have one about. What?
do you think you needed to have a bank account in order to survive?
No.
Okay.
I'm still.
A gun always works too, you know.
It helps to save money, but it no.
But if you don't,
need
it's
to keep
okay,
yourself
too.
alive. Yeah.
Our blind.
But whatever.
All right. No, I was just because of the chargeback fees on everything when your account gets over withdrawn. The argument was that sometimes it's probably better not to have a bank account and just pay shit with money orders and have cash. What's your opinion?
Yeah.
401k.
All right.
All a bunch of lever pullers out there. Fuckers.
Well, he's really on that lever pulling shit. Who brought that up?
That was Kevin.
Who's pulling levers?
What the hell are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
The rest of us are all apparently cavemen, and we make a living by smashing big rocks into little rocks.
Yeah.
But you have to think at your job.
Yeah.
What?
I don't
even know what you guys are talking about.
If she had a Diet Coke or a Coke.
It doesn't even matter if it's true. We just all leap on Kevin anyway.
There's nothing more
Like
embarrassing
you
going up to a fat lady and saying,
slave to the machine.
There's nothing worse than going up to fat ladies at a cheesecake factory and being like, here's your Diet Coke. And they're like, I ordered Coke. You're like, oh, shit. And don't forget my lime. Lime? Who the fuck are you, fatty?
Dude, I got 3 jobs I'm working. I don't want to hear about it.
Dude, you sell fucking soap that your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's 4 fucking
Not
jobs.
a fucking job.
I've got children.
I'd like to see you fuckers try to sell potpourri on a Saturday.
But I'm fucking working. I mean, whatever. It's not like I'm just saying. It's not that you guys are like, oh, it's all fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, there we go.
Fuck you and your
show.
3 day a week job you got, Brian, where you fucking drive.
Why are you mocking me?
Because you're fucking with me. That's why.
Nothing fucking to say about this. I'm sweet over here, and all of a sudden,
Fucking drive.
victim of circumstance. I just get nuked.
Welcome
He's
to Best
in.
of Volume 4.
Come on in, Brian. Join the grill.
I know. Brian, all quiet, think he's gonna get away with this. Fuck you.
Brian,
Don't you be salted in the corner, Brian.
3-day job, fucking 40-hour-a-week job in 3 days. Yeah.
I was fucking working all the fucking time. I work
All you do is just
nonstop.
sit there and hold the steering wheel. You don't actually work.
You got a big
It's
cushion
like
under
you get
your
out of the
ass.
truck or nothing, do you? I mean, you look pretty fat.
You got a jar tied to your penis so you don't have to stop.
Yeah. You just listen to music. You don't even have to look. You're half sleeping.
You drive past cars and give devil horns to little children.
Yeah, waving your dick at girls. Hey, look at me, I'm a fat truck driver. Wife. Yeah. Paper out paid better, but here I am.
Goes slow in the really fast lane. Just takes his time.
Cut people off for no reason, just like being a fat fucking guy.
He falls asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
You're so not doing
You
anything.
don't have to sleep in the truck anymore. They give you a bed in a hotel, you lazy bastard. Look at you. 3 days a week. Come on, Kevin, you have more to add? Because, I'm going to cut to my job, all right?
I will, goddammit. Don't start.
Fuck your fucking video game, I'm on fucking Facebook all day job, all right? Fuck you.
That's my phone. I got a phone,
That's his 5th job.
I got to read text all day, you poor fucking baby. Really? Wow. Had a snowplow almost smash into me today. Oh, fuck you. You were driving, sitting behind me. It was like a video game, right? You weren't concerned. Go ahead. I'll fucking crucify you.
I can feel the love in the room.
Whatever.
Oh,
Whatever, dude. You call in sick all the time. I'm sick. I can't go to
all
work.
day. What are you talking about?
You got pulled out of your truck and arrested, and fucking your boss was like, "All right, we'll hold on to your job for you." Because you fucking forgot to pay your ticket.
Dude, because if you tried making apes do my job, it'd be fucking Planet of the Apes the next day.
You couldn't remember to pay a ticket. I mean, come on.
Okay, I didn't fucking say I was a genius. I'm just saying the job has its difficulties.
But that's, yeah, okay.
Act like there's nothing to it.
That's a difficult part of your job. What's the most difficult part of your job? Pay that ticket. I get these tickets all the time. I got to remember to pay them.
I got to remember to stay under the speed limit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you got this logbook.
Yeah, you got this stuff to remember.
You got this logbook, and if you
Thinking,
don't,
I have to know how to write in the log.
yeah, I don't have a map on me. What state are we in? What is this? Michigan?
I don't have a GPS. I don't know where I
I'm
am.
by the thumb. I'm in the thumb. You're right. The highway people they don't really consider when you log down. I'm near the thumb of Michigan as a really
Technical.
good technical. Yeah, I don't think of that as very technical. Coming around the bend of the knuckle.
Yeah, they're like, "Where are you, sir?" Well, you're in Michigan. You just
Heading
hold
through
up your
the palm.
hand. You hold up your hand. You point on your fucking
Right here,
like
middle
are you like
finger.
where your callus is? I'm right there.
All right. See this
Sure.
right here? This is Old Tiger Stadium.
This small right here on the back of my hand.
You gotta go around thumping the tires
You're
once in a
sucking
while.
a
It's
fucking
so hard.
hour-long conversation about sports in Michigan because that's all they talk about.
This knuckle is the golden bison.
Yeah, this is Port Huron. No,
all
dude, that's
right,
Windsor.
all right. Fuck.
It's the
This
best
shows-
strip club right here.
We got Jedi as our guest tonight, so I got to wrap this shit up. So I don't know if you guys got anything else. Blast it out. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap
Credit
it up.
cards of the devil.
Don't
Credit
do
cards
it.
of the devil.
Whatever it is that we fucking said, just don't do it.
Listen to our stories.
Sound advice, just stay
Record
away.
it. Give it to your children.
Yeah. Turn it into fucking, you know, you go online,
Give
you
it
can
to
buy
your friends.
gold. I'm sure that must be, like, true.
In
You can
2
take
weeks, we're talking about UFOs.
Yeah.
UFOs.
Brian
we'll have
has
some
seen a
to fight about
lot
on
while
that
he's
show,
been
too.
driving up to Michigan.
You never saw a fucking UFO?
I never saw a UFO. You're bullshit.
Come on, your truck driving
you.
all over the place. You haven't
Dude, I
seen
was
one by
abducted.
now?
You
What the
don't
fuck
know.
good are you?
Damn it, Kevin, you never saw a UFO. You never get out from in front of behind a computer.
No, it would be
Kevin,
no.
Look out a
Kevin would
window.
be like, see, this is why I didn't tell you. Because it was a different kind of UFO.
No, I would say I saw 3 UFOs. That's what I would say.
You blew it out of proportion.
Right. All right.
and
I
they
never
attack.
really listened. I never really listened to UFO. They were supposed to be a really good band, but I never really listened.
Oh my god!
dude.
All right, so stay tuned for sports. Don and Don's going to go till 10:15,
15.
and Larry, I'll add you back after that point. And
Okay.
we'll be doing Cleveland Sports Radio. Jedi Hillis will be our guest. So that's it for Midwest Wasteland. Next week, or 2 weeks, or next week's VGN. 2 weeks UFOs. Thanks for listening. Later.
Late.
Peace.